The war was already lost. Our fleets had been torn apart, our armies scattered across the ash of burning worlds. The enemy was unlike anything we'd ever faced. Relentless, endless, a swarm that consumed not for conquest but for hunger. Entire civilizations had fallen in their path. And now they were here, on the final world that still dared resist. My world. We had no strength left. No ships, no armies, no allies. Just desperation. The council chamber shook with another bombardment. Dust fell from the ancient crystal spires above as we huddled in the dim glow of failing power. Generals whispered defeat. Scholars recited the doom written in prophecy, and civilians outside wept quietly, waiting for the end. It was then the Archseer spoke. "There is one chance left," she said, voice trembling. Her ancient hands clutched the worn edges of a forbidden scroll. Not a weapon, not a fleet, a being, something old, something dangerous, something the enemy remembers. Her words silenced the chamber. Even in our despair, we recoiled. We all knew the stories. Every species did. The thing she spoke was not a legend. It was real, exiled from history because we had agreed long ago never to summon it again. "A human," she whispered. The name alone drew fear. I felt it in my chest, in the air itself. A hush fell heavier than any bombardment outside. Humans. They had vanished from the galactic stage centuries ago, retreating into shadow after wars that scarred entire sectors. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others claimed they waited in secret. But everyone knew this truth. The swarms feared them. Madness. One of the generals hissed, "They are myths." But the Archseer's eyes burned. No myth makes the enemy hesitate. And they do hesitate. When their vanguard approaches Sol, they turn aside. Always. Ask yourselves why. The room cracked with argument. Summoning one of them was forbidden, reckless. They were unpredictable, unstable, too dangerous even as allies. But desperation does not care for laws. Desperation is its own law. And so the ritual began. We had no precise way to call a human, no beacon designed for their kind. Instead, we opened every frequency, every psychic channel, every ancient path. We sent one message into the void. If you hear us, come. If you still exist, we beg you. Humanity, we need you. Days passed. The skies rained fire. Cities fell into silence. We began to think no one would answer, until the stars themselves shifted. A ship arrived. It was small, unremarkable by galactic standards, scarred and old. It drifted down through the atmosphere, like a predator returning to familiar ground. And when the hatch opened, a single figure stepped out. A human, not armored like our soldiers, not glowing with energy like our seers. Just a figure, tall and broad, wrapped in worn cloth and dented metal. His eyes were pale and steady, scanning the ruins without fear. "You called," he said simply. His voice was low, unshaken, the voice of one who had stood in storms and walked through fire. "Tell me where." We took him to the front. The swarm was already there, a tide of chittering claws and screaming maws, blotting out the horizon. Our last barricade shook beneath their weight. Our weapons could barely slow them. The human stepped forward alone. He carried no great cannon, no relic blade, just a simple rifle slung over one shoulder and a blade strapped across his back. The enemy froze. I saw it with my own eyes. The swarm that had devoured 100 worlds halted mid-charge, their screeches faltering, their tide breaking against nothing. They knew him. The human raised his rifle. The sound cracked like thunder. One swarm beast fell. Another shot, another kill. Not precision, execution. Each pull of the trigger carried finality, as though the universe itself obeyed his will. When they surged again, he met them head-on. The rifle emptied. The blade sang. He moved through them like fire through dry fields. Every strike, every motion was efficient, merciless, unstoppable. He was not fighting. He was ending. We watched in stunned silence. Our soldiers, who had fought and bled for weeks, saw what true war looked like. And the swarm, those endless creatures, broke. For the first time, they retreated. They shrieked in a language none of us understood, but the meaning was clear. Not fear of death, fear of him. By dawn, the battlefield was quiet. Only the human stood among the corpses, blood steaming on his blade, his eyes cold as stone. He turned back to us, and for a moment we feared him more than the swarm. You see now, the Archseer whispered, why they feared humanity. The human walked past the barricades, past the cheering survivors, and spoke only once more. This world is safe. For now. Then he left. No demands, no thanks, no throne to claim. His ship lifted into the stars and was gone, leaving only silence and awe behind. But the swarm will remember, and so will we, because in desperation we summoned the one thing the enemy feared most, and it answered